Hi, welcome back to another Gadget Report. Let's talk gadgets. And today, let's talk about the safest gadgets. Or should I say, the safest airlines. Airline Ratings published its new safety ratings for airlines. And today, I'm going to talk about it. So come with me. Let's talk gadgets. So let's talk gadgets and let's talk about safety ratings. I'm reading my notes. Airline Ratings published its safety ratings for airlines. The ratings are based on the number of incidents in the previous 2 years, fleet age, fleet size, fatalities, and profitability and others. So these are all the factors that are taken in consideration to come up with these ratings. So airlines that may not make these top 25 may be due to tiny little things, and during the video we'll see at least 2 airlines that did not make the top 25, and it was not because they are not safe, but it's because some other factors may have contributed for them to be out this year. So let's see what is the rating, and I leave the link below in the description. I'll leave the link for the article so you can see all the ratings and you can see all the airlines. Obviously here I'll just mention a few, and you can see the whole list in that article. So for 2025, the big winner in the full service category, so in the full service airlines, was Air New Zealand, followed by our Flying Kangaroo. Let's say our Flying Kangaroo, scandals apart, Qantas has always been regarded as one of the safest airlines in the world. It's known, everybody knows that our pilots have or are some of the best trained pilots in the world. It's not just because I'm Australian or because I'm a fan of the airline. You know I am. It's no secret, but it is a fact, and the airline has been regarded as one of the safest in the world for forever, I would say. So, as I said, followed by our Flying Kangaroo and Cathay Pacific in third. Virgin Australia made it to fourth place. TAP, the Portuguese flag carrier, TAP was ranked 11th, ahead of British Airways, my other favorite British Airways, that was in 15th. So, according to the article, it was a very tough call between Air New Zealand and Qantas, with the New Zealander carrier winning only with a 1.5 or 1.50 point difference. That might have been due to the fact that Air New Zealand has a slightly newer fleet than Qantas. Qantas, as I have mentioned as well in several videos, is renewing its fleet, and this has been a restructuring that has been happening along the years. But of course, it's not something that happens overnight. It takes time, and at this point in time, Air New Zealand may have a slightly newer fleet than Qantas, and that may have been one of the factors that contributed to this 1.5 point difference that gave New Zealand the winning. But I would say both of them are pretty good. Then there's 2 new airlines in the ranking, which it's very exciting. That these 2 are Iberia from Spain, that made it to the 16th place. They belong to the group where British Airways is a part of. And they are just one place below British Airways. And Vietnam Airlines in 22nd place. And for the Vietnamese airline, this is the first time it made it to the ranking, which is always very exciting. And this is sometimes what happens. Sometimes there's airlines that may have slightly bad reputation in terms of safety or in terms of service or whatever it might be. And then they really reinvent themselves and they come out on top. We saw that, for example, with Garuda airline. Garuda used to be regarded as one of the worst in safety standards, etc., etc. And now it is one of the good ones and one of the best regarded airlines in Asia. So what may have happened or whatever might be said about a certain airline today, it may be a totally different story in just a few years, because some airlines really take notice of these things and they really reinvent themselves. And this was the case. One of the cases that it's really known, it was the case of Garuda. They really were regarded as one of the worst, and now they are among the best. So that is one of the good stories. The Vietnamese airline was the first time it made to the ranking, which is also good news, because it's also good to see when airlines are actually investing in the safety, in new fleets, in service, because of course these are very important factors, and safety is one of the most important factors. I wouldn't say just for aviation, I would say on everything. So I think this is always good news. Now, there is some absences. I'm sure that you are questioning. This year, KLM and Singapore Airlines did not make it to the top 25, and the article says they are still regarded as very safe and they have a 7-star safety rating, but they narrowly missed the top 25 due to incidents that occurred. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, the number of incidents, the fleet size, the fleet age, all of these are factors that are taken into account to produce this list, this ranking. And sometimes, of course, it might be minor incidents. I don't think there was any fatalities, both for KLM or Singapore Airlines. I don't think there was, but there could have been minor incidents. Sometimes they take into account things like massive delays, cancellations, all these things, or some incident that happened. And of course that will lower the ranking. Does not mean that airline is not safe. It just means that because they have to look into so many criteria to make this list, and there's so many airlines that sometimes for a tiny little percentage point they may be out. As we saw, the two first ones, Qantas and Air New Zealand, were there, and Qantas came out second just for a tiny 1.5 points. So it's not really a massive difference. It's a very tiny difference. So this is what happened. So let's see now for the low-cost airlines. There's also a list for the low-cost, and for the low-cost segment, HK Express, so Hong Kong Express, is the winner, followed by Jetstar Group. Ryanair took the third place, followed by one of Europe's favorite, and that is EasyJet. For the other popular airlines in the segment, we have AirAsia in the 6th place, Jet2 in the 14th place, and Indigo from India in the 19th place. followed by Eurowings from Germany. They are part of the Lufthansa group, and Cebu Pacific from the Philippines, and 22nd. For this segment, the article mentioned the flawless safety record of HQ Express, so Hong Kong Express, leading the airline to the top this year. There had also been some airlines missing out the ranking. Those were Spirit Airlines, which is dealing with bankruptcy proceedings. That's always something we are sad about. When an airline goes under, is always sad, and we had that example in Australia last year with our Bonza that went down, and it was very sad because it was an airline that it was just appearing. It was having a lot of support. It would bring the much needed competition that we needed in the Australian domestic market, and unfortunately didn't survive, and that is always sad to see. One of the new additions were Jet2 from the UK, Zip Air from Japan, a subsidiary of JIL, just like the Eurowings is a subsidiary of Lufthansa, and Air Baltic from Latvia. So now I throw it back to you. Which one is your favorite airline? Which one is your favorite in the full service, and which one is your favorite in the low cost segment? And that's all for today. I hope you liked this gadget report of today. I hope your favorite airlines are included. I must admit I'm a little sad about British Airways result. I was expecting British Airways to be a little bit on a better position than it is, but 15th is not that horrendous. However, I would really prefer British Airways to be among the top ones, and obviously I'm very happy about Air New Zealand and Qantas because I think they are very good airlines. They've been so for a very long time, so I'm very happy with the results. I think it's a good thing. I'm actually very, very pleased to know that EasyJet is also regarded as a safe airline. As you know, I have flown EasyJet for a few times now, and as I said in my review, I don't have a bad opinion of them. I have that little comment that I made about my daughter that I think they should see and put my daughter next to either me or my husband if we couldn't stay the three of us in the same row. And I understand that it's a low cost. I understand that sometimes they have to separate people. It's fine, but I think when it's a child under 10, I would prefer that they would accommodate that. I think in Australia they have to do it by law. I'm not sure in Europe, but possibly they can get away with it. We had to ask someone, and then they actually changed place so she could sit next to one of us, and that was the only thing I would have to say about EasyJet. Apart from that, I don't have any complaints. I think they are a pretty decent airline. It just takes you from A to B, no thrills. You already know it's low cost. They're not going to serve you food unless you pay for it. They're not going to have all the bells and whistles, but it's a pretty decent airline. And if you're going to go for a short flight like we did from Lisbon to Funchal in Madeira, I think it's pretty decent. It's a short flight and it's pretty good. So I'm happy to see that they are up there in the rankings, really good. And I'm happy to see that Jetstar is also high ranked in second place as well. Very happy to know that. Again, I have no complaints about Jetstar. I've been flying with Jetstar for a very long time, And I also regard Jetstar as a very good airline. The crew is always lovely. I always love the crew, and they provide a very good service. So I'm very happy with this. So what about you? What about you? Are you happy? Is there one of your favorite airlines that has had missed out on this list? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know also what's your favorite airline. I would love to hear from you. Are you like me? Do you prefer the British Airways? Or maybe Qantas? Maybe another one? Just let me know in the comments below. I would love to keep this conversation going. And put a like on the video and subscribe the channel with a click on the bell so you get a notification of a new gadget report every week. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. Bye!